to our Monday live event. So, welcome. How many we got on here?
We have 2.
Nice. So you guys are the early guys.
I'm gonna clean the lens off real quick. Well,
yep. So here in a second, you're gonna see you'll see Dom wiping the lens off, so you guys get a better view.
I'll just move my mic.
Yeah, and then we'll get going on stuff that's been going on for the week since last Monday.
There you go. Amazing.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can see a little bit better, and yeah. So still at 2?
Yeah.
Let's go outside. So the weather's been really nice.
We're at 4 now.
Yeah, weather's been really nice, and we had daylight savings time, which I hate, but it also gives us more daylight. So I've been driving the unibody the past couple days, and then during the day I've been driving the GT to lunch. So I think me and Dom are going to go to a car meet after the live event tonight in the GT and see how that goes. Hold on just a second. I got to take a phone call. Hey, what's up?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Doing good.
You want to turn off your mic? Here's a unibody. It's pretty cool. They call it a unibody because it's a unibody. It's all one body. This is my Ford truck and a tractor. So, yep. Dennis is in the house. What's up? Nothing much. The styling of old vehicles, so good. Like, look at that. It's beautiful. I don't know. I also like the new Ford trucks
Yeah, that's fine.
with like the swoop headlights. I think that looks cool. But I also have a OBS Ford 7.3 4x4 Power Stroke. Talk about my projects. I have like 20 cars. No, I have like 10 cars. 2 CRVs, 2 trucks. I have a, like I just said, Power Stroke truck. I got a Chevy Square Body, an 81. I got a 92 Miata. I have a 93 Stealth. I have a Lexus. Right there it is. It's beautiful. I don't even know what I have. I have 2 CRVs, like I said. I don't know what I have. I have too many vehicles, a bunch of motorcycles, whatever.
Okay. I'll send the
But
two up and you can
I think my
test
favorite
it
car is my
just to
Miata.
make sure.
I'm kind of rambling here, but that's fine.
All right, sorry about that, guys. It was the machinist. We're working on some custom tooling for the mandrel bender, so I wanted to get that taken care of so we can get all that stuff moving. So yeah, just nice that it's nice outside. And I guess Dom, you were showing them the unibody.
Showing the unibody, and they asked about my projects.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, get those questions in, and we'll walk through kind of what was done last week in the shop.
Hello from Australia.
Yeah. What time is it in Australia? I think we're right about 12 hours difference.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Hopefully you let us know. So yeah, last week I had the buck done, and I think we had all the blank pieces cut. So started shaping the second Mack truck fender, and that's where we are at this point with it. I got all the pieces roughed out kind of to this shape. This one I started to smooth out a little bit, but all 4 pieces I went ahead and roughed the blanks out to about, they were close to the buck, and then I wanted to fine tune it. So if you haven't checked out the series of Making the Buck, episode 1 and 2, those are out on how we got the second buck made. Is the first shaping video out, or does that come out this Thursday?
Doesn't our third one have shaping? Oh, that's not out yet. That's for members only.
Yep.
Members got like a week
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, so we're trying to get some of these videos out early for you guys. For the members of the page, you get early access to this stuff. So if you're a member, make sure to check out the video, since you guys have it already, of the first steps of shaping. and I think you were working on the second video of the shaping today.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll come out the next day or so, and then you'll have another week advanced. So if you're interested in getting early access to the videos, become a subscriber. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, my microphone's on too, right?
Yeah, your microphone's on. Mine's just rubbing against my shirt.
All right. Yep, so left out piece, and then Friday and part of Saturday, I worked on this piece and got it dialed in. The surface is coming up. It fits the buck a lot nicer and tighter. So going from the roughed in piece to a more refined shape is what I was working on last week. And here you can see, here's another one that's just roughed in. You can see all the raw shrinking marks and all the lumps and bumps. And then this one also I started to smooth out a little bit so I could check. So I'll let this clamp go.
It's 7:35 a.m. here in South Australia.
Yeah,
8 a.m. Tuesday.
yeah. Time traveler.
Yeah, time travel.
Yeah, you're coming back in time to watch us. And that reminds me, I got confirmation today that we are doing the classes in Sydney in October. So got to get my airfare scheduled for that. I'm going to set up a couple other dates, I think, on the west coast of Australia. So keep an eye out for that stuff. But yeah, so we'll hopefully see you in October. But I was working on getting this piece smoothed out so I could check our transition front to back. So got them coming around. Got some other stuff this week, so I'm not going to be able to work on the Mack truck this week. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way it's coming out. This side is going a lot faster. Learned a lot on the first fender that's speeding up the production on the second one. The buck was faster, the shaping was faster. I reused the same patterns, so that was really helpful. So got that going, and then one of my long-term customers dropped a car off yesterday, Sunday. I built this car into a roller for him in 2013, and he changes stuff, and we upgrade stuff, and all kinds of stuff. So we did the Duval windshield on this, or the Halleck style windshield, 2 or 3 years ago. So I was able to utilize putting it in the factory stanchions and just kind of change some stuff so it didn't look like every other one out there. And now he wants to put a chrome front end on it. So we got hairpin style instead of the wishbones, all chrome. And unfortunately, we received the wrong spring. So that's been a little bit of an ordeal today, just getting everything logistically lined up, because I cut all the old brackets off, so it's stuck until the new spring shows up. So hopefully we'll get that, I think they said Wednesday, and get this thing buttoned up and back to him. Quick turnaround job usually, as long as everything goes smooth, just swapping the front end out. So he'll have new headlight mounts, new shock mounts, hairpin mounts, get everything upgraded. We're putting all new brakes on it too. So it's going to have the SoCal disc brakes that look like Fender aluminum drums. So it's got the Willwood style hub and discs that all get hidden inside of the drum. So those will be pretty cool. And get rid of the old GM metric style calipers and rotors and stuff. Get everything tidied up.
So you made this whole thing?
Yep, it started out as a seller's equipped raw casting. And then I kind of cut everything apart and made it fit right. It didn't fit the way I thought it should fit. So I made, from here over is all made, and then I had to make part of this here to get it all lined up.
All right, we got some questions. I've got a 64 Plymouth Fury, and the back frame rails aren't great, and you can't buy them.
Mm-hmm.
How would you attack that problem?
There's a bunch of different ways. I mean, you could make your own sub rails if you have to. Just bend up pieces of, I think they're probably 16 gauge into L's, and then shrink and stretch it to conform and turn the edges as you need. Or you could just get somebody like myself to mandrel bend frame rails, splice those in as a unibody rail, or you could get tubing and miter cut it. There's so many options. It just depends on if you want it to be a stock replacement frame or if you're going to upgrade the suspension and stuff. If you want it to be stock, you're going to have to do a fair amount of shrinking and stretching with some 16 gauge and make your own sub rails, which is pretty time consuming, but if it's not available, it's not available, and you got to do what you got to do. So not the best answer, but an honest answer at least.
Do you use plastic dies in your planishing hammer?
Nope, I don't use any plastic dies. Everything's going to be steel on steel, even on aluminum. I've never really seen a benefit to using plastic or Delrin dies.
I'm working on a 68 Ford Falcon 4-door in the shop today.
Nice.
And then Big Dave says 1984 VH Commodore in mine.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holden.
So if you got any other questions, feel free to get those in. The shop's just a little bit of a disaster between unboxing everything and just stuff everywhere. And I guess we'll show the dies we're working on. So we're working on these custom clamping dies for the mandrel bender. So this is our standard clamp die, and it's 7 inches. But that limits to how far we can put the bends next to each other. So with this one, we have to have a minimum of, actually this is 8 inch, 8 inch, not 7. So we have to have a minimum of 8 inches between each bend tangent so this clamp can come in and hold it. So I'm working with my machinist to design one that's got, I think this one's got 3. So it's 3. And then the radius is cut into the die. So when we rotate 180, it'll saddle right in here, and we can hopefully get a little bit tighter of tangents in between the bends. So working on getting that developed. Because I've got some special jobs I'm working on that need those distances tightened up. So that's what I was on the phone with the machinist a few minutes ago, getting some ideas on how to refine this. But that's about all that's been going on. The Mack truck fender, I mean, I was on that all 4 days last week, I think, off and on. And the power hammer's fixed, obviously. So we got the new crank put in that. And that was a bit of a debacle because we paid FedEx overnight air Saturday delivery. That was Friday at 10 a.m. And it showed up Tuesday at 4 p.m., which was awesome. So that slowed the whole week up. So we did that. I did a roof insert too. Things are just so hectic, I can't even remember everything I've worked on over the week. Yeah, so we did a 32 5-window roof insert. So it's still got all the oil and everything on it. I need to get that cleaned up because the client's going to drive down and pick it up. So I've got to wipe it off. I'll DA it with a red Scotch-Brite just to tidy up the surface. And that'll be ready to go. And I've got some Model A coupe inserts I got to knock out too. So just busy.
I'm working on a 1965 Toyota Crown. Have you ever added pockets for seatbelts from the factory? This only came with lap belts.
No, I've never really done any of that stuff. I'm sure I could. I'd have to just look at it and see what's entailed and how to get them to lay out. So unfortunately, I can't give any real good feedback because it's not something I've actually worked on.
It's a very nice car.
Yeah?
Have you seen Toyota Crowns?
No.
Like the 60s?
Mm-mm.
They look really good. Mike, I did a Rico version of your flammable cabinet battery charging / storage solution. Thanks for the idea. Worked awesome.
Yeah, glad it works. And it's funny because that concept stirred up a whole bunch of, I guess, negative comments about how fire cabinets are supposed to keep fire out, not fire in. And I don't know, it just stirred the hornet's nest up. And then when my annual fire inspection came through, the fire department loved it. And they took a bunch of pictures and videos of it, and they're going to recommend it to others. So whether you think it's a good idea or bad idea, I think it's a good idea. Fire department thinks it's a good idea, and you just don't want your shop to burn down due to drill batteries. Nice.
I think that's the right year. But yeah, really pretty cool. The wagons are even cooler.
Yeah. Nice.
Let's see. Handheld shrinker was made from a full-size thread insert.
It's not a riv nut. It was like a big rivet gun. I don't know what they started with because it came from Mittler Brothers. So I don't know exactly which handheld riveter they used. It was designed by Josh Bullock. But it's real handy. It's not something you're going to use all the time, but when you need it, it's super handy.
Fabit here, doing our first aluminum job. It's 3003, grade 1/16. What would be a good setting on TIG to start with?
So 3003, I'm guessing it's H14, which is a half hard alloy, and you're looking at 063. I mean, you're going to start at right around 65,000 or 65 amps, because it's going to be a little slow to start at that. But as the heat travels through the material and everything starts to warm up, you're going to have to dial that back on your foot pedal. So I wouldn't go any more than 70 if you're wanting to be a little impatient with it. Bump that up to 70 amps and then you can go, but you're really going to have to start watching the heat input once the panel starts coming up to temperature.
Is there a tool out there that you don't have but you think you would use?
One tool that's on my list, but I'm just really cheap. I'd like to have an Urco flanging, like a flanger. There's a lot of other options out there. Josh Bullock makes one. I just saw that JMR Tools is making one. There's a bunch of them out there, but I really want an Urco. But you're looking at $15,000, $20,000 plus tooling for something I'm not going to use all that often. So I haven't gotten one of those. I can't think of much else. I think I'm going to start getting into 3D printing. I think it'd be nice to 3D print some hammer forms, maybe some pull max tooling, some press brake tooling. So I might look into that a little bit, but I have to up my 3D modeling skill set before I invest in a printer to make sure I don't buy a printer and then I suck at 3D work and then it just sits.
I got a, what's it called? Whatever the cheapest one is that you can get, it's like $100.
Yeah.
Ender 3. And I don't really use it, but I printed a couple things, but I can't really model stuff.
Yeah, because I think I'm going to get a Bamboo Labs, but it's going to be one of the ones that the case is heated. That way I can get really nice stuff because that's, making hammer forms and press brake tooling. It needs to be a nice smooth surface. So I really want to get the heated enclosure for it.
Yeah, but I have a sealed XYZ printer too, and it's nice, but I haven't used it yet. A billing question. You said your clients have a dollar amount per week budget. What do you do when you're in the middle of a process and you've gone over that budget?
So it's usually not a week budget, it's a monthly or a rotational budget. And what I tell them is I stop at a good stopping point. Like we'll just say that their budget is $4,000. If I'm right in the middle of something that's going to cost more money later on to get back into and kind of start over, I'll just run over and I'll just tell them that, be like, hey, I know that your budget's $4,000. This time I went to $4,400 just because I was right in the middle of something. And most of the time they're understanding, but then the next time it might be a little under. So I never, it's never a hard stop right at that exact dollar amount. I do my best to get close, and it's all about being in a good stopping point and making sure you're not causing more work for yourself later on down the road.
Mike, what weight are your slappers? I've got 4 and 2. Seem too light and tickle the metal, and 2 seem too light and stretch the metal.
I don't know what the weight is. When I made them, it was just, this is the size that fits good in my hand and I can run it all day. So I don't even think I've ever weighed them. We'd have to get one out and weigh it to see. So again, I've never paid attention to what it weighs. Is it effective? Is it comfortable? And can I use it all day without wearing myself out? Because I've got some heavy ones that I've bought over the years and I can't stand them because they're just too heavy. Like this thing is probably 2-3 pounds.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, this one's 2 or 3 pounds and I barely ever use it because it's too heavy. Mine are way under that. So I would say mine are maybe under a pound. Because with a slapper, you're not trying to do a ton of shaping work. See what you think. I think that's under a pound.
Yeah, that's like definitely more than half the way of that.
Yeah. Like you're not trying to do a bunch of shaping work, so you're not hitting it super hard. You're just fine tuning, little adjustments of highs and lows. If you need to do a bunch of moving or shaping, you should be using a body hammer or a wheeling machine or something else. So make sure that if you're using a slapper, you're using it for its intended purpose of just fine tuning and revising the shape and the finish of the panel. You're not I wouldn't use a slapper at this stage because there's still, some imperfections that I can run out on the hammer. And like even here, like you would never try to clean this up with a slapper at this point. It's just going to be too much work for you. It's mainly when you get a little bit farther along than this panel and you've just got some light corrections and some waves to work out.
Mike, hey Mike, you mentioned a certain type of body hammer you liked. Can you please remind me which or maker that you liked?
Yep, it's Martin. Martin hammers and dollies I really like. And you'll have to, they're really reasonable on price. I think they were like $40, $50 a hammer. Find one that you like. I've used a bunch of different ones, and you just find one that becomes your general purpose hammer that is the most comfortable and it's just more versatile. So mine is just a standard, it's a flat, like a tapered flat end on it. Yeah, so this is just my go-to standard. Yours might have a pick on it. Yours might be double-headed round. Just find what works best for you, and it'll become just your go-to universal.
I had a drill spontaneously combust while sitting on my bench. I always remove the batteries from the tools now.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. And like I said, with the fire cabinet, it's just, you can kill the power to it at the end of the day, shut the door, and you don't have to worry about it nearly as much because it should be somewhat self-contained if one of the batteries shorts out. Yeah, so I want to talk about something interesting. I put my hands in my pockets, kind of reminded me. We're starting to work with a new workwear company. So this is 1620 workwear pants. I've seen them a lot and I've never worn any. So I got some in and I'm trying them out. So I'm going to wear them for a while and I'll let you guys know some honest feedback on it. But they seem really durable. I've been rolling around in the shop in them all day, so they're pretty comfortable. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully, if things go well with them, we'll get you guys some discount codes to try out if you're interested in 1620 workwear as well. So wanted to give them a mention because they're helping me out with testing out some of their gear.
I was talking to you before the live started about them, and I wear Dickies Flex pants, and they're kind of the same. But you said those were more durable.
Yeah.
Feeling them, they felt thicker.
Yeah, and like they're double kneed and stuff. Like they're U.S. made for workers. So I think that I'm going to run them through the ringer a little bit and just wear them around the shop because I'm really tough on stuff, especially clothes. So I'll give them a shot and see how they do and give you guys the feedback on it.
Yeah, let me know how those go because I might pick up a pair.
Yeah.
When welding two sections of a panel together, is it okay to fusion weld them if it fill up? Is it really precise, or should a small amount of filler always be used?
So if you don't use any filler rod, it's going to take a little bit of the material from both sides of the parent material, and it'll leave a low spot right where the seam was. If you're all right with that little bit of undercut, that's up to you. I always add a little bit of filler just to make it slightly proud of the parent material. So when I hammer out the distortion, it goes back completely flat and you don't have any undercut and you don't have any grinding to do. So personally, I always add filler. There's a lot of guys out there that they only fusion weld, but you can always see that seam because it's just a little undercut.
Bamboo 3D is best. P1S had it running in 20 minutes.
Nice.
At my school, we use Cura printers.
Yeah.
They're like $4,000 per printer, and I think that's just too much for
Yeah.
the quality.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think I could handle running the printer, but it's the fact of making sure that I can actually 3D model it accurately and then, what do they call it, ripping it or whatever, where you take it from a drawing and then they,
Yeah.
So I got to make sure I can do that.
Hey there, a couple off the wall questions. What rear tires and wheels are on the GT? What size?
They're 15 by, I think they're 15 by 10s, and they're BFG. They're not racing tires or street tire, but they're just BFG radials. I'd have to look at what the model number is, but they're only speed rated to about 112 mile an hour, but they're a good street tire. So that's kind of the big thing for me. I'd like to get a racing tire on there that's good for the street, but the problem is to upgrade from that you're looking at like Avon Race Masters or something along those lines, and they're very expensive and they don't hold up all that well on the street because they're more of a race tire that can be driven on the street. Same thing like the Goodyear checkerboards or the, what is it, blue, are they Blue Streaks? They might be Blue Streaks. That stuff, they're usually they're usually bias ply, and they're really sticky and they hold up, but driving it on the street a lot, you're going to chew the tires up. And if I'm putting $2,000 worth of tires to drive on the street, I don't want to be putting multiple sets of expensive tires on a season because I drive the car a lot. It's not like I'm just going to a racing event.
Also, what size bolts are used on the 29 Bonneville roll cage mounts?
I think they're just 3/8. Yeah, I think they're 3/8. They will be grade 8 when it's done. I don't know if I used grade 8 just for mock-up, but we have 4 of them, and the rule book will call for that. So if you're going to do a bolt-on cage, yeah, they're just 3/8, and I'm just using grade 5s for now. But when I put it together for final assembly, it will be grade 8 stuff. But the rule book calls all of that out, tells you what size bolt you have to use. And no real progress on any stuff back here. It's just been a busy week and weekend of working. The garage night was really good. It was really busy. We had like 50 people. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get out of here till like 9:30.
Wow.
So then Saturday I was playing catch up from the hammer being broken by working on the Mac stuff.
Your show, without a doubt, is the most educational channel I watch.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'd like to, like we were talking, I think, last week about the channel taking off, and I think that would be awesome, but I don't expect that because it seems a lot of people don't want educational type stuff. Like there's a large group of people that do, but I think the general masses just want entertainment. They don't want to be taught. So whether we take off and get huge or not, doesn't matter to me. We're going to continue to put out really good educational content for you guys and show you what we do here at the shop and how we do it. So I really do appreciate you guys watching, even if it's not always the most exciting and entertaining, but what I do for a living isn't always exciting and entertaining. It turns into work.
What advice do you have for someone trying to start a business in restoring old cars and trucks? Already have fab background.
Honestly, don't do it. No, I mean, if you really want to, just get out there and do it and go for it. But it's really going to suck. It's hard. You're going to lose a lot of friends because people don't understand the sacrifices you have to make. Time sacrifices, money sacrifices. You're always going to be working to build up the company and the brand. So, I mean, I'd lost pretty much all of my friends except 2 or 3. Just because they want to go out and party and have a good time and goof off, and I'm always working. So you have to be prepared for that. You're not going to make a ton of money. It's just a lot of work with a little bit of reward. So just make sure you weigh the options. I always tell people if you really want to get into it and you're not dead set on owning your own shop, just go work for a shop that's really good, that does good high quality work and takes care of their people. It could be really rewarding, and then you don't have the headache of all the overhead, hiring, firing, paying taxes, and dealing with the customers one-on-one like the owner does. But if you want to do it, just get out there, do it, do your best work, and don't make compromises. Set your standards, set your boundaries, and hold to them.
Maybe a pre-sale extended lead time option prior to March 15th? Maybe on the giveaway?
Yeah, what was the question?
Maybe a pre-sale extended lead time option prior to March 15th.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we can't change the rules of the giveaway. So I would need a little bit more context about what you're wanting, but we already set the deadline, so I can't really change any of that. And let me turn that off since it's going to be loud. That'll give you a second if you want to kind of clarify that question, because I don't really understand. Yep. I always forget to turn the air compressor off, and then it kicks on right when we're standing by it.
I did my first metal shaping project the past week.
Nice.
I used a body hammer to shape sheet metal into a riveted patch. Watching your videos really gave me the confidence to try it. Thanks. Yeah,
I appreciate that what we're doing is actually helping people, not just putting stuff out into the ether. So glad it was beneficial and glad you made the leap to give it a shot.
After you model it, slice it to create the instructions for the printer, I think that's what you're thinking of.
Yes, slicing it, not whatever I said. Yeah, but I'm not all that good in 3D modeling in general or drawing in 3D. I'm still a 2D guy. So once I spend some more time on Fusion and SolidWorks, we'll move the way of the 3D printer.
Oh, Rico says on the pants. Sorry.
Oh.
On the sale. They're not even for sale.
Yeah, they're not on sale. It won't be anything I'll do. Just working with the 1620 workwear people. Like I said, I'm hoping that I could give you guys just a discount code to use on their store directly. It won't be anything for me. I'm not going to carry them in stock or anything like that. You'll be buying directly from them. But I want to be able to share any discounts that I can get through the company to you guys, especially our viewers, and even more so to our members. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll pass on the savings where we can.
What are some tips for welding a joint at the edge of a panel to prevent it from burning away?
So like where a seam is going to exit the edge of the panel. So like say we're welding these two pieces together out here. If that's the question, I'll answer it, even if it's not, but I just don't have anything back here. So get you a piece of scrap metal and clamp it underneath, and then you can just run right off the edge, and your backer plate, just cut it back off later. Just give yourself something to run off the edge. It'll act like a heat sink a little bit, and then you won't get that little cutaway at the end.
Yes, sorry to please everyone with YouTube channel. Yep. Hit the like button, guys. I find it hard to find time to actually film and do customer work and quality content.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with that, and that's why Dom's here, just to make things easier, because I'm not really a TV personality or a YouTube personality. I'm a worker, and even now, like, we struggle with that. Like, I'll get in the zone and I'll work, and we won't film any of it. I think it's just one of those things you have to dedicate the time and force it upon yourself. It's tough. I mean, I struggle with it still, especially the editing. Like, I could film, follow myself around with a tripod, and then I'll just never edit it.
Yeah, editing it
takes forever.
It doubles your work.
Yeah.
Like you have 3 hours of video, then you cut that down. It might be 30 minutes, and that takes you like 4 hours to edit.
Yeah, because before Dom was here, I would film the previous day, and then I would edit for an hour every morning from 7 to 8, and hopefully have enough time to get that done for Thursday release. And it's just tough. So yeah, I don't know how some of these guys do it all the time, but I know I struggle with it.
There's a YouTuber I watch, does really good stuff. Simon Fordman. I recommend watching his videos. Maybe you can learn something. I don't know, but he does super great videos. I'll show you after live. Who does your painting and powder coating, Mike? Do you ever paint anything yourself?
I don't paint anything myself anymore. All my paint stuff goes to, his name is Nick Hammond. It's Bright. I think it's Bright Refinishes. He's in Bright, Indiana. He did the red car for me. I pretty much send everything to him personally. So when it comes to client stuff, I stay out of it. I don't build full turnkey cars anymore. I just like to do the metal work. In the past, whenever I would recommend somebody, it never ended well. I would recommend Nick, but we just don't do that anymore. So if you're looking to have something painted, definitely reach out to Nick and talk with him, check out some of his work, and you can make that decision. But he's the one that paints all my personal stuff for me. As far as powder coating goes, I use JSC Coatings. They're literally a mile or two down the street. So they do all my race car stuff, all my components. They do all the radius gauges. Anything that I need coating on, they'll take care of for me. So Nick Hammond at Bright Refinishes for paint, and JSC Coatings for powder.
Yes, the edge of the panel.
Yep. Yeah, so just put you a backing strip like right where it runs off. Like I said, we'll just use this gasket. Clamp a backing strip right there, hanging off the edge, and then just run the weld right off of it, and then you can cut your backing piece off. and that'll keep you from blowing that end out.
Rico's Ride with $10. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
Gotta
thank you
drop
very
off.
much.
Thank you, Rico.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Let's see. Is there an easy explanation? Do we want to walk around? I don't know.
Yeah, but we always end up stuck in the back.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
Is there an easy explanation on how to take a half-ton fender, make patterns, and change that patterns to be bigger? Say 3/4 ton size. I hope that makes sense.
No, because everything changes. You're going to have to make a buck. Which what I would do is I would take pictures. We'll just say it's the Mack truck fender, and you wanna go a little bit bigger to be a bigger fender for a bigger truck. Take a front shot and a side shot, and then scale it up the percentage, and then make a buck. It's going to be so hard because you can't just scale up the pattern, because your radius is going to change, where your light lines lay is going to change, where everything's just going to be different. It's going to look the same but bigger, but nothing is going to be the same off your pattern. The amount of shrink, the amount of stretch, all of that stuff is going to vary. So you can't just make a pattern off of a half-ton fender, add 2 inches to it, and make a 3/4. It's not going to be the same. So you actually have to scale that up and make a buck.
Let's see. Well, I appreciate all your guys' time to make these videos.
Yeah, thanks for watching them, because that's what we do it for.
A lot of people hire editors.
Yeah.
Kind of what I am.
Yeah, that's what Dom is. And like the problem, like I was talking to Carl about that before. You just started when Carl was here, right?
Yep. Like that day.
Yeah. So Carl hires an editor, but the problem is you're paying the editor, or some are. Like for me, I like to watch what's going on for somebody that's not here. So you have to film it and then make notes to send to the editor, and then the editor edits, and then you have to watch it and make sure that they clipped it right, and then make any revisions. Because I used to do that. I had he was an editor, but he was local, and he would come in, and I would spend hours filming, he would spend hours editing, and then we would have a 2-hour sit down and fine tune the video before it was finished.
Yeah, and that takes 2 hours of your time.
Yeah, it takes 2 more hours of our time. So that's like why with Dom being here, he seems to be getting an understanding of how the shop works and what you guys want to see, and he's dedicated just to the content here. You know, he's not doing 10 other shops and could mix and match kind of the feel. So
yeah, and I'm in the automotive, like
you're interested in it.
I'm interested in automotive stuff, so
yeah.
I know what we're trying to look for.
Yep. So, yep. I mean, hiring an editor is where it's at, and Dom's here to edit and film and be involved. So, what other questions we got?
Would like to see how you make a full fender like on a car. Probably like pattern it out and make a fender.
Well, I mean,
the Mack truck fender is
yeah, I was gonna say, what's their username?
Tim Wanson.
Well, I mean, if you haven't seen it, make sure to check out the Mack truck stuff. Like, granted, we're patterning a buck, so it's a little bit different, but the concept is all the same. And I've got so much content on here of patterning a Model A quarter and patterning fenders. And we've just got so many patterning videos that go on from this is how we pattern it to this is how we make it. And it's always going to be the same steps. The convertible quarters, the same thing. We showed, I don't know if we got clay modeling in there, but we show patterning it and making the pieces.
You did clay modeling on the drop top. Chop top, yeah.
No, I didn't clay model any of those. The only clay modeling we did.
Made tooling.
Well, that's not clay modeling. That's using body filler to make the profile tooling.
Okay.
Yeah, clay modeling is like how we modeled the taillights into the car.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we have like a video or two on that.
Yeah, so make sure to check those videos out if you haven't, because we have a lot of very similar stuff, unless it's a different style of fender you're looking for. But I get that a lot of, well, why don't you do a video on this, or can you do a video on that? And while I would love to do that, I have to wait until that task presents itself on a paying job. I'd like to get to the point where I can just make videos for you guys that you want to see that doesn't have to do with customer work or stuff in the shop, but that's how I currently make a living, is working on whatever's in here for the client, and we just film it. So yeah, I mean, hopefully in the future we can get to that and it's not going to be as dependent on client jobs to keep the lights on.
He's doing great also. That's good to hear.
Yeah, thanks.
I watched the Mack truck fender buck and the one-piece inner wells.
Yeah, so it's almost the same concept unless you're talking about a different style fender, like say a Mustang fender. But the process would be exactly the same. We'd pattern it the same, lay it out the same, shape it based on our pattern, and come up with the part.
Yeah, it's still nice though to see different styles. Would you recommend wearing a respirator for welding sheet and aluminum? And if so, what mask and filters would you recommend?
I mean, it's probably a good idea. I don't wear one just because it's bulky and cumbersome and it doesn't fit under my hood all that great. I used to have one of the Miller low-profile ones, and it was all right, but I don't know.
You don't even wear gloves welding.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got some new gloves that I actually like. Where are they? But yeah, it's a good idea to probably wear a respirator, but I don't. So I can't really give you any feedback. But my buddy Michael Furick, I really like these because they're long. So I've been using my grind and weld, but I like these. I like these a lot.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. So like even here, like this is like double stitched, which I really like. He sent me some not so long ones, but I really like these long ones that come up my forearm. So hopefully I'll start wearing gloves.
Mike, who are your metal shaping heroes? Whose abilities are you in all of?
Josh Bullock at True Metal Shaping, phenomenal. He's a good guy and he's an amazing craftsman. And then Adam Banks that works at Rad Rides. Also, I mean, just unbelievable work that these guys do. So definitely check them out. I think Adam, you can see him on Rad Rides, but I think it's A Banks. I'm terrible with remembering stuff, but
That's a good question.
yeah. Josh Bullock at True Metal Shaping and Adam are just, yeah, A Banks built, but he just he did the metal work on I mean that's 100% scratch built car. It's unbelievable the work that he does.
He looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think he's a human. And I mean that in the best way possible. Yeah, so definitely check out A Banks and Josh Bullock. His quality is up there too. Those are two guys that I really look up to and aspire to have the quality that they put out.
I have to replace the inner and outer rockers. In order to do so, I have to cut the rear quarter to gain access to the rockers. Is there anything I should take account when cutting that quarter?
It depends on what kind of car it is. Hopefully you don't find that you need inner and outer wheelhouses, because usually if the rockers are bad, the bottoms of the quarters are bad, and you're going to run into issues in the wheel wells too. Just make sure that the car is solid. I don't know what kind of car it is, but make sure that you brace it up if you need it. If the car already feels flimsy, just run you some X bracing, tie everything together. Since you're going to cut the inner and outer rocker and the quarter off, there's not going to be a lot of structure left to support it. So especially where the roof comes down, just make sure it's solid where it attaches. And yeah, I would make sure it's not on its wheels, because it could bend a little bit in the middle. Just make sure you got everything supported. It's kind of tough to say where and how. You're just going to have to use your best judgment.
My dream is to do a scratch-built car. I think that's everyone's dream.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, scratch-built cars, they're awesome. I've done a few. It's very rewarding, but it's way more work than anybody can ever imagine. You know, building a chassis is one thing, fixing rust is another thing, chopping a top's one thing. But then when you have to be the sole person that makes all the decisions of the body shape, that gets complicated. Well, now how's the glass going to lay in? What's the window channels look like? What's the hood opening look like? What kind of hinges are we going to use? What kind of latches? Door openings, door hems.
Yeah, little thing.
Every little single thing is so important, and it has to function. So it gets really challenging. It's very rewarding, but it's also extremely, extremely challenging.
Josh is an awesome guy, craftsman.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he's just, like I said, he's an amazing person to begin with. I've talked to him a bunch of times, seen him out. Just a good guy to talk to. And then, I mean, he's just such a skilled person. I love watching his work. And same thing with Adam. We talked at Grand National when I had the Roadster there, and I saw him last year, and he's just always good to catch up with and look at what he's working on.
Did you meet Gene Winfield? Great old school guy.
Yep, I did a car with Gene once. Yeah, so I mean, I'd met Gene, worked with Gene, and it was a bummer to hear that he passed away. But everybody's kind of getting older, so it's inevitable and an unfortunate thing. But it's kind of is what it is.
So our question right now.
Cool. Yeah. So make sure if you've got questions to get those in while we wait.
We're at 45 minutes. So.
Yep. Don't forget that we do have the free class giveaway. It ends this Saturday on the 15th. Yeah, 15th. So free class giveaway. We're giving away 4 classes. First place giveaway is 4 classes or 4 individual entries into a class in the future. And second place will be a t-shirt and a hoodie. Third place will be a hat of your choice. And no purchase necessary. To get 1 free entry, all you got to do is sign up to our monthly newsletter. And you can, I think, Dom, you'll probably drop the link into here.
It's in the bottom.
Yeah.
You just got to sign up go to the description, click the link for the newsletter, put your name in, your email and all that.
Yep.
And there you go.
Yeah, or you can just go over to Cornfieldcustomsltd.store and it'll pop up on the main page. You can sign up there and that gets you 1 free entry into the giveaway. And then if you want to better your odds, for every $30 you spend on the web store, that gets you 4 more entries into the giveaway. So it's a good chance to stock up on tools and merch that you want and get entered to win with more entries the classes. So again, you don't have to. You can just sign up on the newsletter and that gives you 1 free entry. But yeah, so that ends on Saturday. Again, we're giving away 4 first places, which is 4 individual entries into one of our future metal shaping classes. Second place is a t-shirt and a hoodie. Third is a hat. So make sure to check that out. Ends this Saturday. So good luck to everybody. And yeah, we'll probably announce that winner. Yeah, let's do it live next week. So
Right.
I'll have to get Jamie to make sure that everything's finalized this weekend. We'll do the live drawing Monday unless something crazy happens. But we should be able to do that on Monday. Announce the winners live. Yeah, live next Monday.
1973 Toyota Carrera, probably a Corona. This is the guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
Quarters. For the rockers, the wheel housings are good. I was planning on trying to cut as little of the quarter out as possible.
Yeah, then you should be fine. If you're just going to notch the corner to get the rocker out, yeah, just make sure to lay your cuts out so you don't have to make multiple cuts.
What size tungsten to weld 30? Oh, 30. Oh, yeah, well.
You're probably going to want to step that up to something a little bigger. Like I usually run a 16th, and it's okay on 063. If you really have to start putting in a lot of heat input, you want to step up to a little bit higher. So I would start with 16th tungsten, red band, and start from there.
What are the names of your inspirations again, sorry?
Josh Bullock at True Metal Shaping and Adam Banks at A Banks Built on Instagram. So check them both out.
Dennis says good luck to all the winners.
Yeah, good luck to everybody in the giveaway. And they're always a good time. Like we've had, done this in the past, and people have come into town, and it's always a good time.
The one I went to was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks. Fabit.
Yep. Hopefully it works out. So what do we got? Probably 10 minutes left. We got 10 minutes left. Everybody dealing all right with the time change? It screws me up pretty good.
What do you think? Should we get rid of the time change?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I think right now is what it should be forever. We should just eliminate daylight savings time because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. What was it for? Farmers, right?
That's what they claim, but I don't know. If you look at the statistics of how many days the sun comes up before and after, before 7 a.m. and stays late after 7 p.m., it averages out better with no daylight savings time.
Yeah, then it should be that.
Yeah. So that's what I think. But it is what it is. Can't control it. So hopefully they get rid of it because I absolutely hate it. It messes me up for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well,
no questions.
no questions.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. So Got some frame rails to bend this week. We got a photo shoot. It was supposed to be Saturday, but it's now Friday because the weather changed. Yeah, handful of rails. What else did I say I wanted to talk about? We got the giveaway. We got 1620 workwear. I'm planning on flying to California next Wednesday for a couple days. We're going to go out and start race prepping the 61 MG Bonneville car to get things ready for El Mirage in May. So looking forward to that. I've just got a bunch of stuff to get done before I do that.
Do you know what color that is?
What?
Like, do you know what color it is?
I don't know what the factory color name is, but it's just
It's probably like British Racing Green.
no, British Racing Green's darker, so it's unless they have a light variant, but it's yeah, I like it. It's almost like a seafoam green.
It looks good.
Yeah.
The time is perfect for me in Australia. I listen as I start my day.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said like just beginning to be warning over there. So
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I really do. I think it's super cool that we get people from
we get people
all
from
over.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like Germany, Poland.
Yeah, yeah. What a time to be alive, you know, to where we can film this on our phone and it instantly goes out to everybody all over the world. Like,
Yeah.
like who would have thought?
Yeah, the 60s, like that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
Montana here.
awesome. Yeah, I like Montana a lot.
I'm gonna go to the Tetons.
Yeah,
Should be really nice.
yeah. Tetons are pretty cool. Yeah, we went through there a couple years ago. What else we got for the last few minutes? Yeah, there's the power hammer crank that broke. So it's all fixed. But yeah, you can see where kind of the stress crack started when that bearing went out a while back. But we're good now. Everything's running smooth. Just kind of sucked that it put us behind a little bit, but it is what it is. Can't control stuff like that.
It's 23 here in South Africa, but well worth the sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and it's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I wonder if they have like cool hot rods down in South Africa.
Yeah. I don't know.
As an Australian,
They had Diane Wood, which is always pretty cool.
what's that?
It's a band.
Oh,
Yeah. It's its own thing.
okay. As an Australian, most of my YouTube views are American.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think we have like a ton. from
Yeah, we have a
Sydney.
ton of New Zealand and Australia. Yeah.
All right, we have like, it's 52 minutes, so
Yeah, get those last minute questions in. Like I said, I think me and Dom are going to go to a car meet after this, which is going to be interesting because I don't really fit in with most car people.
yeah, it's gonna be a bunch of Hondas, and yeah, probably just stock Hondas and Kias.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
Tim says thanks.
yeah. Thanks for tuning in and checking it out. And yeah, my it's not here yet, but I got a notification today that my big brick of aluminum is ready to be picked up at the steel supplier for the top half of the intake manifold for the modified Roadster for Bonneville. So hopefully we'll get that done in the next few weeks.
I was wondering when you were gonna do that.
Yep. So
DM Wood are crazy.
yeah, yeah, they're pretty nuts, but I like them.
Please cover the car meets. We love them.
Yeah.
What are you taking out to the meet?
We're probably gonna take the GT. So it's outside, the weather's nice, it's warm. Yeah, we'll take it and see. I had it out yesterday, and I've been wanting to replace. So it's got Holly blue fuel pumps on it, and I don't like hose clamps. So I've been wanting to replace all the fuel line with braided AN stuff. I got to call Fragola and get all that stuff ordered. But now the fuel pumps are acting weird. Like if I let them run too long without switching left to right, they
Well,
get
yeah,
hot and they start cutting out.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because like yesterday I was right down the street on the way back here and it died at a traffic light. And I could see in the mirror where the fuel filter is that it just wasn't pumping enough fuel for it to fill the carburetor bowl back up. But when I took it to lunch today, it was fine. So
My dad was telling me we were working on my friend's Bronco too. That thing's pretty cool. Is Dom taking the Daytona? Yeah, I'm taking the Daytona.
yeah, no, it's still up on the lift. Yeah,
I'll take the red car. Yeah.
yeah,
But my dad got a Ford Escort, like an old one,
Mm-hmm.
and you could drive it for 50 miles, and it would run perfectly fine. Back for 50 miles, it'd start cutting out and running terribly. And it ended up being the ECU was for a V6 Mercury Stable, and the car had a inline 4,
yeah,
so it's pretty
Yeah. So I'm hoping that just switching, because like you can hear them, like the pumps have different tones and neither one of them sound all that great. So what I try to do is I'll run on one pump for 20 minutes and I'll switch to the other one for 20 minutes and let them cool down. I think because they were put in the car in '93 and then it only had 300 miles on it after 30 years.
Yeah, it's probably time.
Yeah. So it's, it's probably had fuel in it and then just sat, and sitting on that stuff is so much harder. So the baffles and the O-rings could be bad. So I'm gonna throw new fuel pumps on it, call it good. Because we're doing that Bailey class in Manitowoc, Wisconsin in May, and Noah Norwood's flying in here, and I think we're going to drive the GT up there. So I definitely want to get that figured out before we drive it 9 hours up there.
Do you like Fragola over fittings and hoses?
Yep. Yeah, I like Fragola stuff a lot. So when I buy all this stuff for the GT and the white Roadster in the back, I'm going to set up and become a dealer. That'll be my buy-in on all of those parts. So I started getting all of the hoses and ends, parts numbers together so I can call them either this week or next week, get them on order, and hopefully be set up as a dealer. Because I use everything for brakes is AN, fuel system, fire suppression, all that stuff. I use AN line, and I think it's only, the only way to go to become a dealer because I use so much.
No, you're just talking about Carina.
Oh, nice.
I like Mazda Cosmos.
Yeah.
Which are really cool. Yeah, it's actually a Carina. They were only in North America for 2 years. Thanks for the input. Your skills are awesome, and I really enjoyed the videos.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I steered you in the right way. We'll see.
Check the grounds on the pumps. They may be losing proper continuity from sitting up.
Yep, I mean that's
another thing on the
Yeah.
Bronco. My dad cleaned off 2 grounds, one on the exhaust and one on the coil, and the Bronco started running better.
Yeah.
It still doesn't run right, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I checked the grounds and everything when we had it up in the air, and everything looked all right. As nasty as that fuel was that came out of there when we first got it, I think it just sat in there too long and it started eating stuff. Because you can, like I said, you can hear them. They change tone as they start to get warm, and they don't, because I've got the fuel filter right behind me where I can see it in the mirror, especially to figure this problem out. And you can just see it that barely any fuel comes through. So it's just, they're old, and I'll just replace them, and then we'll have a fresh start, and we can trace problems from there.
thanks for the live Q&As too.
Yep, thanks for checking them out, and
Yeah, thank you for everyone who views our videos, likes them, anything
Yeah.
to do with the videos.
yeah, it's always super helpful, especially you guys that share stuff on Facebook and Instagram, and liking and commenting really helps out a lot. So, any last minute questions? Because I think we're about.
We got 2 minutes.
Yep.
Well, 2 minutes left on the live, but 1 minute technically.
Yeah. No questions?
No questions.
All right. So I guess we'll start winding it down. Yeah. So don't forget about the giveaway contest. Head over to Cornfieldcustomsltd.store. Get signed up at the newsletter. Check that out. Get any merch that you want to get some extra entries. Yeah. Stay tuned for next week. We'll do the announcement on the winners and get those things coming out in the next couple weeks. I think we don't have anything coming up to where we won't be doing any lives. Make sure to stay tuned for the shaping videos on the Mack truck, the second Mack truck fender. We've got one this Thursday, next Thursday. We'll see how that goes. We might throw an ambulance video in there while I'm out of town. We'll just have to see how it goes. Yeah. And any last minute questions, or are we about done?
I think that's it. But yeah, the next video should be really good. I left in a lot of raw metal shaping, so you can hear and see how long it takes. So I didn't cut out if it just went on for a while. I let it keep going, so you guys can see a little bit how long it takes.
Nice. Yep. And so yeah, if there's no more questions, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Make sure to check out some of our other videos. Leave a comment. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all of those places. It helps out. And if you want to join the cesspool on Facebook, you can see everybody that just want to say stupid things to me all the time and start fights. So those are usually pretty entertaining to watch. So check that stuff out. Again, thank you guys so much for checking out this live event. We will be here next Monday at 5 Eastern Standard Time. Check out our other videos. Let Dom know how he's doing. And thank you guys so much. And we will catch you next week.